So we've got a little bit here. Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law she peed in the wrong body wash? Why is your sister-in-law peeing in any body wash? I question. I, a 46 female, and my husband, a 46 male, had a falling out with his sister, a 40 female, a few weeks ago. We had agreed to split the rent and bills during a tough time for both of us, and it imploded almost immediately due to, one, her refusal to respect communal furniture and space, okay? Two, her lying to us about the cost of bills and getting us to pay a higher percentage than we agreed. My husband and I quickly moved out, and since she had never gotten around to adding us to the lease, she was stuck in the apartment until the lease ended. We've since moved out of state and bought a house. Okay, so far, I mean, it doesn't sound like OP has done anything off here. It sounds like there was a need for housing. They moved in together and things went downhill, and they were just trying to have a place. And it sounds like it's not an issue of money at this point because they were able to get out and buy a house. So it's probably more of an actions issue. So there's a lot going on here because there's still talk of pee in someone's body wash. So what the fuck? Fast forward to now. A sister-in-law called my husband to ask if she and her new boyfriend could stay with us on their way to a friend's wedding in our new state. She said she wanted to make amends and package things up. I was skeptical, but I told my husband he could decide and I would do my best to get along. Well, when they got here, she had brought along an additional friend, another female, 30 or so, as well as her boyfriend. Fine, okay, rude, but whatever. True, if you're going to be asking, I mean, especially after this time, whatever kind of rift, whatever it was that went down, obviously we know because OP kind of mentioned. But whatever it was, you're now imposing on these people. You're not only asking to come to their house and stay with your boyfriend after not seeing them for a while and wanting to make amends, but then you just show up with this friend. So it sounds like this particular person in the first place is just one of those people who thinks everything is about them. Main character syndrome all over the place here is the vibes I'm getting. It sounds like OP's sister-in-law just thinks that everything in life is about them and everybody's supposed to bow down and do what they want when they want. And yeah. I settled sister-in-law and her boyfriend into guest bedroom and made up the day bed in our gaming room for the extra friend. Luckily you have an extra room too. The friend asked if she could shower. I said yes and directed her to the bathroom. She grabbed her stuff and went in and showered. Well, the next morning we heard sister-in-law and her boyfriend go in the bathroom and start to shower. Then we heard giggling. When sister-in-law and her boyfriend came out, she looked smug and he looked subdued. So it sounds, again, like sister-in-law was the one who was planning and instigating this, and even boyfriend was just in the background like, okay, I guess I'm doing this, but I'm not doing it by choice. Sister-in-law went to wake her friend up and left to get iced coffees. The boyfriend immediately asked me to take him to the airport. I was confused, but said sure. My husband was at work at this point. He left while they were getting dressed. On the way to, I think it's supposed to be on the way to the airport, the boyfriend told me that he was done with sister-in-law, that she had peed in my body wash, shampoo, and conditioner while they were in the shower. Wow, talk about petty and childish. Not only do you do, like, if OP is telling all of the truth here, not only do you get your brother and his wife to move in with you, and then you fuck with the bills to make them pay more, then they move out, causing this rift, but because you used them, then you go to visit them with the intent, obviously, to cause some kind of harm. And you bring along this boyfriend, you bring along an extra friend, and then you go and you do something so petty and childish as that to someone who opened their house to you after everything that you did to them. Wow, this is just crazy. Here's the kicker. I don't use body wash. I use soap that a friend of mine makes. Oh, cool. With goat's milk even. Wow. Because I have sensitive skin. My husband uses it too. I also use bar shampoo and conditioner and body balm bar. Never heard of any of that. So none of the bottles in the shower were mine. They were all her extra friends. I had moved mine and my husband's stuff to the smaller bathroom to make room for the guests. I said, thank you for telling me, and left it at that. I dropped him at the airport. When I got home, sister-in-law and her friend were piled on my couch with coffee and breakfast watching Netflix. I said good morning and logged into my computer to play Diablo 4 for a while. I said nothing. Neither sister-in-law nor friend mentioned the missing boyfriend. Wow, he's obviously very important to them. Jeez. That he'd later in the day, my husband texted me they'd like to go to dinner at our favorite sushi place. I told him that the boyfriend had left and gone home, but I would ask sister-in-law and her friend. When he asked me why the boyfriend left, I told him he should probably ask his sister. He said okay, and we all agreed to go out for sushi. I told sister-in-law and her friend that I was going to take a shower, and the diabolical light in my sister's eyes told me all I needed to know. Okay. So, this is sounding like it's starting to sound too convoluted. So it sounds like this might be another one of those AI test things. But if this is real, then this chick is diabolical. When I walked past the main bathroom and down the hall into the bathroom that only had a shower stall, sister-in-law looked frozen. All the way through dinner, she was nervous, and when her friend went to shower before bed, she looked panicked, but she didn't say anything. Oh, gross, nasty, shrieks started coming from the bathroom. Minutes later, the friend came out wrapped in a towel, yelling that I was disgusting for pissing in her stuff, that sister-in-law was right about what a B word I am, etc. So, wait. So she peed in the girl's stuff. First of all, how much did she fucking pee if she peed so much that it's like... Okay, but anyway, she peed in the girl's stuff, and now the girl knows. And why is she blaming it on you? She, as well as the sister-in-law, saw you go down to the other bathroom and use the other bathroom. Why would she blame you? She knows it's only her and the sister-in-law that have been using it. There's no... So... pardon. Yeah. This, again... All right, my husband looked shocked. Sister-in-law started yelling at me, why would you do that? I calmly stated that her boyfriend had told me that she peed in my shower stuff, and that's why he was leaving. But since I didn't have any stuff in that shower, I wasn't worried about it. I told the extra friend to text sister-in-law's boyfriend if she didn't believe me. Well, he confirmed. Now my sister-in-law and the rest of husband's family are saying I should have warned the extra friend. No, you're not. Absolutely not the asshole on that one. Because seriously, no. You didn't have to warn the friend. The friend was causing just as much of a uproar and ruckus as the sister-in-law. She was down and willing to come to someone's house she didn't even know without permission or anything. So yeah, no, that doesn't sound like an asshole move. Update, this is blowing up more than I expected. I'd like to address some of the more common response. No, this isn't fake or a creative writing exercise. I'm 46 years old and I finished college in spring of 2000. I write descriptively because that's what I'm used to, because that's what I used to teach when I write in public schools. I use paragraph breaks, good punctuation, and proper grammar for the same reason. Honestly, I mean, yeah, has been enabled by her family her whole life. Everything she does is either blamed on someone else or excused because she's on mental disability. Everyone is expected to coddle her and never confront her no matter what she says or does. My husband grew up in that environment and I hate that for him. Okay, I get it. I have intellectually disabled relatives. I myself am actually classified on being disabled for my mental capacities and stuff based on my problems with my seizures and things like that, and due to my depression and other things like that. That's why I'm disabled. So it's actually my mental disabilities that I'm considered disabled for, as well as some of the physical things that I have as well. So I can understand that aspect of it, but mine was acquired later, as opposed being a traumatic brain injury, as opposed to something that I was born with potentially and had grown up with my entire life and had to deal. But I did deal with that with my eyes, but I was never really like, yes, my parents did have the schools, and this was at doctor's recommendations and stuff, take me out of playing things like sports and ball sports and things like that because of the fear that because I have a detached retina in my right eye, that by playing too much and getting hit in the face so much because of not having depth perception, that if it continued to happen, I could detach the retina in the other eye and then eventually go fully blind. So the doctors recommended that I didn't do sports and things like that, that my sight was too... My sight and my hand-eye coordination and all that, based on everything looking like it was thought that it was best that I stay away from it. But never, other than that basic accommodation, never did my parents say, hey, you ain't got to like clean your room, or you ain't got to act like a normal person because of your disability. You don't have to listen and do things because of your disability. It was always instilled to me that regardless if you have a disability or not, you have to comport yourself in a certain way. And even, like I said, some of my family members who are intellectually disabled never... I mean, there are some who were coddled and given a lot of leeway, but never... since my mother's generation, never were any of the children who were born like my generation and younger given that kind of slack thing. It wasn't allowed. You have to pull your own weight to an extent in society. And I'm not saying that someone with an intellectual disability who can't work or anything, I'm not talking like that. I'm talking pull your own weight. You have to comport yourself in such a way that you're not a detriment to society, that you're not bringing others down and hurting others. This kind of behavior is childish at the best, malicious in very least malicious, and criminal at the worst. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that could eventually lead to sociopathic behavior. I mean, she's doing these like menial little things now, but who's to say that she's not willing to go further at some other point down the road against someone else who's has no connection to her? Maybe she's holding back some because of a connection, familial or otherwise. But what happens when there's no longer a connection for this woman? Is she willing to go further than just peeing in someone's shower stuff? Will she get violent? Is there more to this? This is kind of, to an extent, an antisocial behavior that is being emboldened by her parents and other family members, instead of admonishing her for her actions and telling her what you're doing is wrong and you shouldn't be doing this. They're kind of not. They're allowing her to act this way, and it's not good for anyone to be allowed to act in a way that hurts or causes others to have some harm. That's the kind of stuff we need to say, no, this isn't good. Additional details, her now ex-boyfriend disclosed to my husband later that he was not allowed to leave the guest room after their shower until he promised not to tell, and also promised that he would stay with her for the trip and wouldn't tell anyone they broke up until after the wedding. She took his keys away, thinking he wouldn't leave without them. As soon as she and her friend went to get coffee, he asked me to drop him off at the airport. When the extra friend found out it was sister-in-law who peed in her stuff, she cried and asked to use my shower. I gave her some spare hotel bottles of toiletries that we had in basket in the guest bathroom. She took her car they had all ridden in the extra friend's car and left sister-in-law. Sister-in-law faked panic attack and said her chest hurt. So my husband took her to the ER, dropped her off, then called his family to tell them what happened, to tell them to come and get her. They drove 8 miles to do it, and that's when the attacks on me started. So here's my feeling on this. OP is definitely not the asshole. OP, should they have warned the friend? Maybe. But the friend came there knowing that this could be something going on. Obviously, she was ready. This girl was ready for a fight. Obviously, the boyfriend knew it going in because she was doing all that stuff. So the friend must have known there was something going down. The problem is the prank went wrong. It ended up hitting the wrong person. That's not OP's fault. That's not OP's fault. If the sister-in-law hadn't done anything to begin with, there would have been no issue. So why would OP be the asshole in this? I'm saying no. And for the family to attack her for it, that just shows that there's more to this than just that. I mean, at least the husband came to her aid and said, you know what, we're not allowing this. Leave the bitch there. So no. I'm gonna say confidently at this point.
The verdict is
Not an asshole.